everybody, I'm Margaret Lewin and this is Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today I have this wonderful mess to share with you. I've shared before quilts that I have completed, and I thought it was about time that you guys see the mess of what I have that is not completed. Now, the worst part about this is this isn't all of them. I think there's one more hidden upstairs in one of the closets that is a whole cloth quilt that I haven't quilted yet, and it was meant to be done by hand. So the first thing I'm going to start with is this one. This is a little baby quilt. I did a queen size one, or a twin size full. I think it was full size one for my granddaughter, and it's on her bed. And I made this for her baby doll, and still not quilted. The big quilt is quilted though, and it's on her bed. So that's the good news. All right. I'm gonna just keep piling them up here in front of me on a, I'm just gonna keep putting them here in front of me on a bucket so that you can see them. A bunch of people have asked to see the double wedding ring quilts I've made. I've made 4 of them at this stage. I did one. This is the first one I made. This was for Lindsay. And then I made a second one, and that was for Tracy, and she has hers. I made one for Jackie, and that's behind me in this pile. And I made one for my husband and myself. Now, the last 2 still aren't quilted. These quilts were made 100% by hand. The only time a sewing machine touched them was to sew the backing together and to put the binding on, and then it was hand stitched down. So my husband and I like to do road trips, and I actually cut out all of the pieces to all of these quilts while we were doing a road trip. So this is my Lindsay's quilt, and it's a double wedding ring. I love the corners because they're nice rounded corners, which was fun to do. They're quilted very simply. I think it's pretty. I like it, but then again, I did it, so I'm not certain that the camera will pick it up. But that's the quilt. Or the quilting on the back. It is 100% cotton. The line of fabric was by 3 Sisters. And it was back when 3 Sisters was with Moda. So this is Lindsay's. This one is done. Okay. So next I'm going to show you the 2 that aren't done. And then we'll get into this bucket, I think. Now this bucket is filled with things that are mine to be quilted. And there are some of my family's things too that still need to be quilted. So that's the first wedding ring. This is the second one that I did. And this one I am still working on quilting. It's not done. This is in its raw state. And this is Jacqueline's. Now Lindsay and Jackie are identical twin girls. And their fabrics are very similar. One of them has blue in it, the other one has green in it. So there's Jackie's quilt. And as I've said a number of times, it's not done and it desperately needs to get finished. So there's Jacqueline's quilt. I really do like it. I do need to get it done because it is really pretty. All right, so there's Jacqueline's. The next one is mine and my husband. And this is another one that I really do love it. I haven't even started hand quilting it yet. So consequently, now this one is a little bit larger than the girls, only because I really, well, honestly, I was thinking we'd get a king size bed, but we still only have a queen. So this one is a little bit larger, and I do love this one. But that's my double wedding ring that I need to quilt also by hand. So that's 2 quilts by hand so far. Let me get this. See, this one's big. Yeah, this one's huge. I have a pile going right here in front of me. All right, now this next one is one that I have just struggled with whether or not I was going to quilt this by hand or quilt it on the machine. And my final decision was I was going to quilt it by hand. So you guys can chime in and tell me what I should do. I love this quilt. This one is a Dresden blade one. Let me see if I can get it opened up so that you can see it a little bit better. This is the Dresden blade. And each one of these blades, I'm going to lose it. Come on, get up there. Each one of these blades are made from this fabric. And what it was is just fussy cutting it to get it on here. But isn't it beautiful? I still absolutely positively love this quilt. And I want it done because I want to use it. But I really think I want to quilt it by hand. I can't decide. If I could get time to get it on the machine, it would be done. But I really think I want to do it by hand. So these are bigger blades. These are the full-size blades. You can see them. Whoops, sorry. There, now you can see them. And these are hand cut out, hand stitched together, and then hand appliqued down to the blocks. And then what I did for the corners is I made a little bit smaller of a blade so that I could put them in the corner. But this truly is the fabric that was used to make all of these different blades. And it just depended upon where you put the template to what flower you got out. And it was a lot of fun. I truly enjoyed doing it. It was a real work that was just so much fun to pick different parts of the material and then to end up with something different. So it was absolutely positively gorgeous. This is one of my favorites. All right, here we keep going. Let's see, we'll do the hangers next, okay? And then we'll get into the bucket. This is a quilt that I made for our bed. I'd say probably 5 years ago, maybe 4. Long time. And it just needs to be quilted. I have the binding material, I have the backing material, I have everything. It just needs to be quilted. So here is that quilt. Isn't it pretty? This is just this one is made just up of triangles, but it's just all different ones with sashing strips in between that give it a little bit more of a flavor, with a nice big wide border. Hopefully you can see this. I'm standing on my tippy toes so that you can. So there's that quilt. And again, just needs to be quilted. And then you're going to see these next two are my Moda Sampler Block Shuffle. Not last year, the year before, we did, hosted a Moda Sampler Block Shuffle on YouTube, and we made all of these blocks. Well, I made double the blocks every single week. So it was 6 blocks I made every single week. Now this is the border that Moda suggested. So here's the red one. Now lift it up a little bit higher so you can see the rest of it. So this is my red Moda Sampler Block Shuffle. And then I wanted to change up the border. And this is the one with the border changed up. So this was my design. The zigzag border was what I wanted, and the flying geese border was what the pattern called for. So there's my other second one. And again, just needs to be quilted. So there's this one. I'll turn it around so you can see the other side too. They are both the same size. This one's just folded. No, they're both the same size. They'll need to be pressed again because they've been hanging. So there's that quilt. And these I would really like to get done only because I really like them. And, you know, I'd like to get them finished. But I will at some point, just not today. Then, let's see. Shall we go through the bin and see what's in it? It says, it's labeled. It says, to be quilted, mine and family. So I'm just going to pull out, well, this was one that my mother did that I'm supposed to quilt for her. Oh, isn't it really is sweet. This is a wool felt project that my mom did. Very, very pretty. She did a beautiful job with it. I need to get that quilted for her. And then let's see what else is in here. I'll skip over the family stuff a little bit and go right to mine so that you can see. Here's the binding for my quilt. That's, I already showed you. These are my sisters. Okay, here we go. This is one that I made. This is from a pattern, and I made a little baby doll quilt and a bigger quilt. Now this fabric was all, this is the quilt. It really is cute. It's a nice throw quilt for a little girl's room. And the fabric for the baby quilt, this was just the extras that were left over. And I didn't want to waste them. So I made another quilt. I know I've got a couple more down here at the bottom. Oh, yep. These are, here's another couple of little baby quilts. These I made for dolls. And these are just out of all different scraps. And lo and behold, here's the backing material to quilt it. Probably for one of my grandchildren. I wanted to do it up and it's yet to get done. Let's see, what do we have here? This is a duvet cover that was my daughter's. And I just want to take it apart and quilt it so that somebody can use it, because we won't use that anymore. And let's see, what else is down here? Oh, this one's really cool. This is one of my mom's. Wait till you see this thing. Now this thing I have purposely hesitated to get on the long arm, only because it's going to be not easy to quilt. And I'll show you why. All of these pieces, see this, see if I can stretch it and show you. See these black pieces? These black are not attached down. So if I run it across the long arm, let's see if we can get it open. I'm going to go and it's going to catch it and fold them over. So I have to baste these all down first before I can actually quilt it. So that's that one. But I love the color of it. I almost think it's called Fractured Windows or something like that. But it's very pretty. We're getting down to the end of the bucket. This is the last one of mine. I'm double checking. Yeah, this is the last one of mine. And this is a jelly roll quilt. But what I did was I cut the strips wider. I think these are 3 or 3.5 inch strips. And this is actually Sarah's quilt that I've yet to get quilted. And now I have pillowcases for this one. So that is a trip through my quilts that I need to quilt by machine or by hand. And that does not include the 2 quilts from last year's Pat Sloan's mystery, which I haven't actually even gotten put together yet. And that doesn't include Olivia's quilt, which will need to get quilted. So which one do you think I ought to do first, people? Somebody please let me know so that I just get them done. Maybe I should do that. Have you guys hold me accountable for getting one done a month that's one of mine. Except for if it's the hand one, you gotta give me, I would say 3 months or 6 months to get it done. 3 months to finish Jackie's and probably 6 months plus to do mine. So that's a lot to do. But anyhow, here are my quilts. I hope you enjoyed a little peek at the disaster of mine with all of the quilts that aren't quite finished. So let me know which one you think I should do first. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And don't forget to join me on Sunday at 1 o'clock when I go live. So I'll see you then. Bye.